I'm taking Kyle Busch. I like the story of 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Yes, this is Kyle's 21st year in the sport. However, if we remember in 2015, he had the injury that caused him to miss the Daytona 500. So, this being his 20th try in the Great American Race, I think old Rowdy gets it done, and the pre race betting favorites would happen to agree with me.
My pick to win the Daytona 500 is Kyle Busch. 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Kyle Busch wins it. He's been good at the restrictor plate tracks lately. He's my pick.
My Daytona 500 winner will always be Austin Cindric. He's won it before, and he does really well at Daytona, and I believe that he can do it again.
I'm going with Kyle Busch. I feel like for Kyle, he's been in contention for all these plate races as he's been a part of RCR. I feel like he's got a teammate that's willing to push him. I think Kyle gets it done.
A throwback that I want to see for the longest time, and there's actually an interview on Brandon's channel of me saying this. I wanted to see a Terry Labonte Kellogg's car, and I'll be damned, we finally got one last season with Larson and the number 5 team. They absolutely crushed that car. So now I move my throwback focus to a little bit of a reunion we saw a couple weeks ago at the Florence Speedway with the Budweiser number 8. I would love to see Sammy Smith in the Xfinity Series roll back out Dale Jr.'s 2005 Budweiser car with the red chrome doors, the white roof, white hood. I think that car would look awesome on track. So we'll see if that comes up in Darlington this September, or actually this May for Throwback Weekend.
All right, my pick for a throwback that I really want to see is Austin Dillon throwing back to the good old good wrench in all black, baby.
Probably something Casey Kane. I That's the driver that I started pulling for when I first got into the sport. So, um, which one specifically? If the Mopar one, the blue and white Mopar one, that one would be pretty sick. With the like blue barbed wire and stuff. Um, they can't really put Spy versus Spy onto any of the cars anymore. At least because I don't think it really exists anymore. But also that one, was kind of cool. But I think it was mainly because of Spy versus Spy. Um, but really, like any Casey Kane, really Chase Elliott did like kind of Casey Kane, Casey Kane. Um, because he did Bill Elliott's, and Casey Kane and Bill had the same number style. Um, but I would love to see a Casey Kane throwback. Maybe even one from the five. Um, whenever he was in that car.
So I got this idea as soon as they started releasing promo images of the drivers' fire suits. And I looked closely and I saw on Todd Gilliland's fire suit an Aaron's rental patch on there. My first thought was we have to see the Aaron's Dream Machine return at Darlington. Now, there's a lot of old Michael Waltrip, David Rudiman, Mark Martin, Aaron's paint schemes you can choose from. But to me, one of, if not the best ones, was I believe it was 2003, 2004 season, where at the bottom of the car, it was like clouds. I feel like it would be an awesome paint scheme. I feel like it's a paint scheme that really isn't messed up by having the number slanted forward, which is something you got to think about when choosing a throwback.
As far as a breakout driver, I'm going with Carson Hocevar. We saw him break onto the scene in 2023 when he filled in for Corey LaJoy at Gateway. Phenomenal performance in that number 7 car. A couple performances later that year that stood out as well in that number 42 car, filling in for Noah Gragson. And then last season, they launched him full time as a NASCAR Cup Series rookie, and he wins the Rookie of the Year battle by a pretty good margin. Carson Hocevar, this is a driver that keeps improving year over year and taking steps, and I think next season is another big step in his develop. I'll go as far as saying he wins a race and makes the playoffs.
Pick for my breakout winner is Todd Gillen. He's been getting faster and faster at the super speedways with that more of Ford support. So Todd Gillen, that's the pick.
I'm gonna go with the Carson Hocevar. I believe he's gonna do very well this season. He did fairly well last season. He um, could be argued last year one of the best Spire car out of the three. So he's gonna have to fight hard with Michael McDowell this year for the top spot at Spire. But I believe he's going somewhere.
For me, a blanket answer would be Front Row Motorsports. I think they're really in position to have an amazing year. I feel like you have Zane Smith coming home. For Noah Gragson, you have stability. I think that was something that really helped him when he was at juniors, is just having something stable underneath him. And I think that out of the three drivers, I think Todd Gilliland, he's been in the system for a while. Last year, we saw these glimpses of, is he going to take that next step? So out of the three of them, I think Todd Gilliland is going to make it into the playoffs this year and have a great season.
I kind of struggled with this because there's a couple drivers I could see missing. I was going back and forth between a couple drivers. I ultimately settled on Joey Logano, and I know I'm going to regret this. He's going to find a way to win a race this season, but you can't deny the even year Logano. Obviously, 2025 being an odd year, and one of the odd years most recently was 2017 when, yes, Logano did win a race, but it was encumbered. He ended up missing the playoffs. He was close to missing the playoffs last year, even. I think that 22 car might be out of the playoffs this year. The other pick I had for this category was Ross Chastain, but they kind of caught some heat at the end of the last season. So that's what caused me to lean more towards Logano, just based off of his performance in the regular season outside of that win at Nashville that qualified him for the playoffs.
Denny Hamlin. He has a new crew chief, and he's losing sponsorship support, and he has the lawsuit with NASCAR. A lot of things dragging him back, so my big name is Hamlin.
The big name that misses the playoffs. As much as I love this driver, I will definitely pull for this driver. Um, I'm gonna say Ross Chastain. Um, it's not particular for any reason. I just kind of have a feeling. Um, or possibly even Chase Briscoe. Um, like it was hard for Chase Briscoe to get into the playoffs last year. He won that race at Darlington, um, which won him way in. Um, but he is in better, I would say better equipment over at Joe Gibbs. So we'll have to see. Those are my two possible suggestions on who misses out on the playoffs.
I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. I feel like Denny just has so many distractions off track, but even on track this year, he's dealing with a new crew chief. Now, I feel like Denny is someone in the past that when it comes to all of this pressure, he is someone that it could fuel him, and he goes and takes off and picks up 7 wins this year and picks up his championship. But for me, I think it's going to take another turn.
As far as my champion, I broke this down by manufacturer. I'm going to cheat a little bit here, but it's okay. If a Toyota wins the championship, it's Christopher Bell. If a Chevy wins the championship, it's Kyle Larson. And if a Ford wins the championship, it's Ryan Blaney. Of those three drivers I just said, I think Larson and Bell are the two heavy favorites. However, my champion pick of those is Ryan Blaney. And it's just based off of our playoff schedule. We settle the race at the end of the season in Phoenix, a flat oval where those Penske cars are strong. You look at the 12 team, the way they've ended the last 2 seasons, dominating performances at Martinsville, walk off into Phoenix. He had to win at Phoenix for the championship in 2023. Last season ran second to eventual champion and teammate Joey Logano. I think YRB gets championship number 2.
My pick is Kyle Larson. He gets his second championship. He's been getting faster and faster lately. With last year, he got the most wins of the season. He's gotten to handle this new car. I think Kyle Larson wins the 2025 championship. He's a good guy.
Um, Now my champion, I we need a repeat Penske car, okay? I will take any of them, but preferably Austin Cindric. I want this to be his year. I I'm I'm a Penske fan, but I'm an Austin Cindric fan. Um I wouldn't mind Ryan or Joey, but I would definitely be very happy if it was an Austin Cindric.
So I'm going to go with a dark horse, and that is Alex Bowman. Now, for a lot of people, they would say he's not even the best guy on his team. For me, though, the thing with Alex is that he doesn't have the pressure that his teammates have. You know, you look at a Kyle Larson. If Kyle goes and wins 5 races but gets eliminated in the round of 8 or 12, people are like, that's a waste of a season. For Alex, he doesn't have that pressure, and I think that kind of helps you be able to try different stuff when you don't have all this chatter going on. We forget about the consistency he showed pre-injury back in 2023, and I think last year we saw glimpses of that returning. So I feel like your champion for the 2025 season will be Alex Bowman.